Today I'm going to be talking about what every home buyer should know about their pre-approval letter. So first of all, if you're new to the channel, I'm a mortgage lender licensed in 48 states. I've been doing this for what feels like 426,000 years, which is 18 years. My team's one of the top purchase teams in America, and what that means is we pre-approve a lot of people. So we see a lot of stuff. So first of all, as a home buyer, you need to know what type of pre-approval you have. And you may go, well, wait a second, Jen, isn't it standard in the industry? No, there's no standard in the industry, okay? There's theoretically what things should be, but then it's like, we hear the crazy stuff all the time. I was talking to a real estate agent, it was probably a month ago, and he's like, you're not gonna believe this. And I'm like, try me, try me. And he's like, yeah, I just had a deal blow up at the end. And I'm like, why? And he's like, the lender. I'm like, what'd they do? He's like, they had never run credit. I'm like, what? What do you mean? He's like, yeah, they gave them a pre-approval letter, but they didn't run credit till the end because credit reports are so expensive. They wanted to make sure that 90% was done before that fee. And the credit report didn't work for the buyer, right? Because the buyer wasn't qualified because of the credit report. That's crazy, right? And you're like, oh my God, that can happen? Yeah, that's the thing. You need to ask your lender, hey, what type of pre-approval are we doing? Okay. Now, as someone who does this as a living, what would I want? And this is what me and my team do. So if you're working with us, this is what we always suggest. This is what we do. And this is based on my experience, both as a lender, but also as an anxious buyer. Okay, I am the worst. So first of all, what type of pre-approval is this? You know, is it a fully underwritten pre-approval? That's what you want. You want a fully underwritten pre-approval. And if they go, no, it's just like we looked at everything and we got your docs, but you're good. I don't think so. You know, here's the thing. Back in the day, that's how I used to do pre-approvals, is I would, go through the application with the buyer. It was just me. I would review all the documents, and look, 99% of the time, I was okay, right? But at the time, I was doing maybe, 10 loans a month. Here's what I've noticed as I've started to do more and more and more loans. There is stuff in people's lives that you do not see on the first look. So a loan officer may look at it and be like, yeah, everything's good, but a processor may go, oh yeah, I need this and this, and it opens up a Pandora's box, right? Because I could be looking at it going, you've got 1 month of pay stubs, this looks good, but the processor may calculate it and say, wait, I'm a couple bucks off, can I see another pay stub? And that other pay stub could open up a can of worms. That's something we want to do before you picked out your dream house. So the benefits of a fully underwritten pre-approval for you is that the rabbit holes that can happen in lending that can lead to problems get fixed and addressed before you have money on the line. Okay. And look, I've had people where they've dropped in the comments, well, I don't need to do that. I know I'm approved. And I'm like, cool. So tell me why you know that. And it was funny, a couple of years ago, I had a guy who said, yeah, I make really good money and then I make all of this. And he listed where he works. And I'm like, oh, so you get paid in RSUs. And he's like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, well, you can only go to these 3 lenders and you better check this and that. And I hope you had them for this year. Here's the thing, the way that a normal person looks at income versus underwriting guidelines, it's like Alice in Wonderland with the upside down world. Like, it's crazy. Underwriting guidelines for income is very different than reality. You go, I make 10K a month. I've made 10K a month for a year. I make 10K a month. Whereas we may look at it and go, hey, your commission, you make 10K a month now, but last year you were making 5K a month. So actually you make $7,500 a month and you may not qualify. Okay. So number 1, get that fully underwritten pre-approval. Okay. Number 2, how long is your pre-approval good for? This is a question that I get all the time. And the reason is sometimes people will say, oh, a pre-approval is good for 60 or 90 days. But then they get the letter and they're like, this says 45. So here's what you need to know about pre-approval expiration dates. The credit report, a hard credit pull, is good for 120 days. If I'm doing a fully underwritten pre-approval, a soft pull, it's not a thing. You can't close a loan with it. You know, everybody likes a soft pull credit because they're like, well, it doesn't hit my credit. Great. If I have to close your loan, I need a hard one. And I would rather know everything I'm dealing with up front than risk of variability. And that's what you're risking. And do we see it? Yeah, we do. And on government loans, that's a joke. You need to do a hard credit pull, okay? So hard credit pull is good for 120 days. Now, income and asset documents for most loan programs are good for 60 days. So you're like, okay, so I'm gonna have to re-pull my credit and get new docs in 60 days then. No. Your credit's good for 120, so once the income and asset docs expire, we'll just update them. That's it, and we'll extend it. It's not a big deal, and it's nothing to stress out about. I have some buyers that have been looking for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Like, it depends on your market, the pace you're looking. So don't be stressed out by the expiration date. That's something I see a lot. Like, don't feel like you have to buy a house within that window or your time is up, okay? It can be extended. So just know that. Very, very important. And no, you don't have to fill out a new application. If it's over a year, we would probably want you to fill it out, but we're not gonna pull your credit again if I still have a valid credit report. I can't stress that enough, okay? So the next thing that people ask about, or that I'll see as a problem, is let's say they get fully underwritten and something changes in their life. A lot of people think, well, I'm already pre-approved by the bank, so if I buy a car, if I quit my job, it doesn't matter because they already pre-approved me. No, okay? Every single lender pre-approval, whether it's a pre-qual or a fully underwritten pre-approval, is going to have verbiage at the bottom that says this is based on the information provided. If there's any changes in information, it can impact this approval. Okay, so you're like, oh my God, can I eat? You know, I want to go on vacation. Is it okay? Look, always good to reach out to us. Yes, you can eat. Don't change your life. But if something big happens, like just because you're pre-approved doesn't mean you can go buy a car. If you buy a car, I'm going to have to put that in your debt to income. If you quit your job and you don't have a job, and I needed that job to qualify, guess what? You're not qualified. So, and people go, well, wait, how will you find out, right? Here's the thing. Lenders are monitoring your credit throughout the transaction. So we'll actually get a report that says there's been a new inquiry, and then we have to ask you, hey, what is this about? And then the second thing is, no matter the loan type, we are always going to verify your income the day before close, sometimes the day of closing. And if you're like, okay, well, can I give you the number to verify? No, you can't. We're not going to call your friend Paul, who's going to say you still work there. We have to verify through third parties. You know, there's people in the industry, good people, who have trusted buyers and have lost their jobs because the buyers have given them a number of a friend who lied. You know, all this stuff always gets found out. So, you know, and look, nobody wants to lose their job. And if you do, just tell us, okay? Just tell us, because depending on how we're using income, if you have other income, we may not need the job. Or it may be something of, okay, let's put this on hold for now. We're not gonna cancel your file. If I still have a good long credit pull, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see if you get a new job, what that new job is, and then we're gonna update your pre-approval. It's really easy, so do not worry about that, okay? But keep in mind, a lender is going to definitely be keeping their eye on the situation to make sure that everything stays the same or better. So the big things for you guys are this. Number one, what type of pre-approval do you actually have? Yes, you want a fully underwritten pre-approval. Yes, you want the hard credit pull. You want to realize that with an expiration on a pre-approval, do not stress it. Lenders can extend it, so no big stress there. And then lastly, just because you're pre-approved doesn't mean you can quit your job or buy a car. The pre-approval is based on the information you provide us. And if you're ever unsure about anything, call your lender, okay? And if you're like, I hate my lender, Jen, call me, call my team, work with us. Like, look, we'd love to help you guys. There's a reason I do 10 billion videos. And if you look at our Google reviews, you'll see my team and I love helping people. So reach out. We're happy to get you fully underwritten and approved and walk you through the process and make sure you're super comfortable. 786 933-2077. Thanks for watching.